us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, so we are back with you for another segment of our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. And as mentioned, at this time, we'll be conducting an interview with the Ministry of National Mobilization. So to the individual, good morning. All right, so let's see what's happening here. All right, and just to know that we are standing by to conduct an interview with the representative from Ministry of National Mobilization in relation to Child Month. All right. And if you listen to the ad just before we came into this segment, one of the things that the ministry is encouraging is that if you know something, that you should say something. All right. So one of the things that's highlighted, just reading this from API, Minister of National Mobilization, Kisal Peters, is calling on Vincentians to report any case of child abuse or neglect as this country commemorates Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. So she delivered, this is Minister Peters delivering her message on the 1st of April. She said the protection and wellness of children is priority and the responsibility of every citizen, stressing that protecting children is not only the responsibility of parents. There is never an excuse for violence against children, nor is there any justification for failing to report abuse. The scars of child abuse are deep. Children look to us to protect them, and they deserve love, respect, and the opportunity to thrive, Minister Peters said. The minister noted that the government remains committed to the protection of all children, working together with families, communities, and institutions. The Child Development Division within the Ministry of National Mobilization will host a series of activities, one of them being this interview this morning for April, including Child Abuse Awareness Campaign and a Children's Symposium, amongst other things. All right, so we are standing by to hear from our person this morning. All right, so to the representatives, are you hearing us? We're not seeing any cameras on. And
yes, good morning. I'm hearing you.
Okay, lovely. So you are Burnett, good morning, and Portia, good morning. Portia Cotter, good morning to both of you. And how are you this morning? All
Hi,
right, so
good
Portia,
morning.
you're
I'm
muted,
doing
right?
well.
Let's go. Uh-huh. All right, there we go. Houston, we have video and we have sound. All right, so listeners in Radio Land, we thank you for bearing with us. Those on the live would have realized what was happening at the time. All right, so Miss Carter Burnett, that's a first or last name. Which one is this now?
That's my last name.
It's your last name, so what's your full name?
Clayton Burnett.
Clayton?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Clayton? All right. So good morning, Clayton Burnett, and good morning, Portia Cottle. And we thank you for being here with us this morning. We'd allow you both the opportunity to introduce yourselves. And I know that as a gentleman, Mr. Burnett would give way to Miss Cottle. So, Miss Cottle, you can go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Good morning, Diana and Roleza. My name is Portia Cottle. I am a probation officer at the Ministry of National Mobilization. I'm working in the Child Development Division.
All right. I'm Mr. Burnett.
Yeah, good morning, all. My name is Clayton Burnett, and I'm a child protection officer. I work in the Ministry of Mobilization in the Child Development Department.
Okay. So your sound is going in and out, Mr. Burnett.
Sorry.
All right. Let's try that again.
Yeah, so I work in the Ministry of Mobilization in the Child Development Department with portfolio as a probation officer in the diversion section.
Okay. All right. So I know that you'll be having a series of activities for this month, one of them being a series of interviews here on WEFM. So, what specifically will we be talking about today?
So today we'll be looking at child abuse, talking about some of the activities that we have for the month of April, and we will also be highlighting our work in the diversion unit.
Okay. So, go right ahead. Over to you.
Okay, so we, as we mentioned before, working in the child development unit, and this unit is responsible for child protection issues. We also have the family employment program, diversion unit, adoption, child maintenance. Um, we offer psychosocial support, awareness program, and parenting program. So the month of April is usually celebrated as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. So during the month of April, we normally have a lot of activities that highlight child abuse issues in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? So, before I touch on the activities that we have for the month of April, I would just like to share some information on what is child abuse. Now, child abuse is a deliberate act of harm or failure to protect and properly care for a child, which causes emotional, physical, and psychological damage to a child. Now, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, according to the Child Care and Adoption Act, we focus on five types of abuse, which are physical abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, which include verbal and emotional abuse, neglect and abandonment, and financial abuse. If I could just give a brief definition of these abuse, they will be the physical abuse involves violence and physical force, which causes actual or likely physical injury or suffering to a child. Now, abuse, this will include all forms of sexual acts, including incest, rape, involvement in or showing or forcing transactional sex, exposing children to indecent behavior, indecent touching, or violating bodily privacy and using sexual explicit languages. Now, the psychological abuse or verbal or emotional abuse include things such as shaming a child. Oftentimes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, if you go to different communities, sometimes we hear adults referring to children as fat, as being stupid, as being dotish, um, probably say, oh, what are you ugly like your father or your mother? You might turn out to nothing good. So these words actually have a negative impact on a child and could last throughout the child lifetime, right? Financial abuse is basically withholding or refusing to contribute financially to a child or children to help with their care and well being. And then we have neglect and abandonment, which is basically withholding the basic needs from a child, and that child will be left to face hunger, or you may see them in the street being dirty, unkept. Sometimes you may see them with cavity. Their footwear might be a bit untidy. So these are signs of neglect and abandonment. If we could just look at the statistics in St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the past 4 years, starting from 2024, last year, we had a total of 264 cases reported cases of child abuse. Now, interestingly, the highest form of reported cases of abuse in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is neglect and abandonment, giving us a total of 133 reported cases. And then it's followed by physical, which was 65 reported cases of physical abuse, and sexual reported cases being 64 reported cases in 2024, right? In the case of neglect and abandonment and sexual abuse, girls are more prone to this type of abuse. So within that 133 reported cases of neglect and abandonment, 70, right, which is more than half of, of those reported cases were girls. Um, Sadly, so it's the same with sexual abuse. 60 out of the 64 reported cases were females as well. So we can see that our girls, they are in a very dangerous position. When it comes to physical abuse, boys are more physically abused, according to the reports that were given for 2024. So in total, out of the 264 cases, reported cases, there was a total of 158 girls reported being abused in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 2023, we had a total of 381 reported cases. Again, girls topped the list of 279 reported cases of females being abused. Males, there was a total of 102 males. 2022, we did not have much reported cases, thankfully. However, it remained the same, neglect and abandonment being the highest, followed by sexual abuse, physical, then psychological abuse. And the same with the figures, girls as well had more reported cases of abuse, child abuse in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In 2021, there was a total of 221 reported cases of child abuse. Total females being abused, reported being abused, 129, and males 192 cases of males.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Burnett, you can contribute at this time.
Yeah, so in conjunction with what Ms. Cutler has given to you, during the course of this month, we are actually promoting the ministry. I mean, when I said we, promoting child abuse awareness and prevention throughout the length and breadth of this country. We have already had a press conference by our beloved minister on the 1st of April, and we will continue throughout the month executing this promotion. On the 10th, which is tomorrow, we'll have a child symposium, which will be at Foreign Affairs Conference Room, geared towards bringing the awareness through the presentation for what's happening in our country as far as child abuse is concerned. And every Friday, we refer to this as a Blue Friday, which we're going to wear blue or basically have a flag or a ribbon in solidarity for children who are being abused, and also an awareness to stop the abuse that continues to exist in our country. On the 24th of April, we have a church service at the Kingston Seventh-day Adventist Church, and the general public is invited to that. The schools will be represented, community groups will be represented there, and we're inviting the general public to be a part of this prayer session for the nation and for the nation's children. And we're going to basically crown off the month with whistle stops on April the 29th from Kingston to Georgetown, going through the Mesopotamia Valley to bring awareness to people in terms of what is happening and how we can prevent child abuse from happening in our country. In conjunction with this, I also need to mention that we have a diversion unit in our organization. The diversion unit provides alternative options and probational service for juveniles in conflict with the law. The object of the diversion is to redirect youth offenders that basically going through the court system with alternatives program under supervision of social workers from within our department to guide them to a more productive and fruitful journey in their path of life. So to do this, we have been bringing awareness in the schools, where we are conducting antisocial behavior awareness. And this antisocial behavior incorporates children being regularly absent from school, fighting in school, destroying school property, bullying in school, all of those things that basically envelope in antisocial behaviors. We have done most of the secondary schools throughout the length and breadth of the country. So, and in addition to that, we are also doing group mentorship with children. So you can see that from the ministry perspective, we have a very packed program in terms of trying to help our youths in the country and to basically bring an awareness to the entire country of what is happening with our young people and how we can help them to foster a productive career path.
Okay. I have a curious question. Go ahead.
Just before, so added to what Mr. Burnett said, the other preventative programs that we conduct in school, gang violence in secondary school, gang violence prevention in
Yep.
secondary school, and in the primary school, behavior modification with grade 5 students.
Okay.
And
Absolutely.
uh, also from the ministry end, we conduct welfare check-ins with juveniles who are in conflict with law, who are um, at different police station or even at home, or who are on a sentence at the moment, right? So those are some things that the diversion officers will do on a weekly basis.
Okay. All right. So just my curious question. When I was growing up, Child Month was in May. When did it move to April?
So Release a Child's Month is still in May, but
Okay.
April,
Mhm.
April is Child Abuse and Prevention Month.
Okay.
Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month, and it is celebrated internationally, right? So May is still Child's Month. So next
So
month
we
you'll be
have
seeing
so
a
two
lot of
months dedicated to children.
right. So next month you'll be seeing a lot of activities from the Ministry of Education and
Okay, lovely. All right, just needed to get that clarified.
I noted you listed Mr. Bonnet. You have the 24th for the church service as well as the 29th for the whistle stops. Were there any other activities or was it just that?
Yeah, those are the main activities in conjunction with the 10th, where we have the symposium.
Okay.
And then we, of course, we had the press conference on the 1st. But in outside of those, this which is geared towards the child abuse awareness and prevention, and we have the other things that were mentioned from diversion that we are conducting in the schools.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and all right. So we have just a few more minutes with this interview, but I noted the statistics that Portia called out for the last few years. And given that females are those who have been recorded in terms of the highest category, how is the direct message being sent to girls in terms of how it is they could recognize that they're being abused? How and where can they report abuse, etc.? What direct messaging is being sent to students, and how is this message, are these messages being sent?
okay, so we're using different media to get out the message of child abuse prevention. So for children in general, girls, oftentimes abuser may say to the child, "Oh, don't tell anyone because I may get in trouble if you report this matter." If you are being harmed, if you're being touched, if you're being physically abused in any way, we are saying to children, say something. If an adult sees something, suspect a child is being abused, we are encouraging adults as well, anyone from the community, to speak out against child abuse. There are different signs of child abuse, physical abuse. You can see the signs on the body. Oftentimes, some person might say, "Oh, I fell down. It was an accident." But let common sense sometimes be our guide. For instance, a baby below probably 10 months, they are unable to walk, right? In most cases. Let's say that you see some bruises on a baby body. That could never be an accident in most cases, right? So those are some signs that that child is being physically abused. For an older child, for instance, same bodily mark like on the core, their core body, or what we call the trunk, right? Um, Other signs that they might be exposed to sexual abuse, the way that they are behaving, their conversation may be highly sexualized. For instance, they might want to report something indirectly. Oh, what should I do if I know a friend who is being harmed, who is being touched inappropriately? That could probably be that child asking for help, reporting that she is being abused indirectly, right? As I said, you may see it in the behavior and in their conversations at times, right? Neglect. you will see the signs of neglect in terms of how the child or children may be keeping themselves. So we are encouraging the general public, and yes, there are duty bearers who must, at any time they see or suspect abuse, they must report it. Teachers, nurses, pastors, just some examples of who duty bearers are, social workers. I know oftentimes persons are afraid to report because they do not want to go through the whole legal system, the whole investigation court system, but we are encouraging persons to report matters of abuse because our children are our priority and they must have a reality, right? So to report child abuse, we have different agencies that those reported cases can be lodged at the police in any district, any community. You can report the matter there to any police. Also, you can report it to the Child Development Division, and the numbers are 493-6569 or 493-7576. Another mobile number is 526-6801. If, for instance, you cannot get onto any of those numbers, we are encouraging you to call PBX, that is the government communication line, at 456-1111 and ask to be referred to the Child Development Division. Now, in reporting any case over the phone, you do not have to give your name, even though it might be important for further investigation because let's say that we want to get back on to you for further information, but you do not have to give your name. So please do not feel fearful in reporting any case of child abuse.
Okay. All right. So we have come to the end of the interview for today. As listeners, as we indicated before, it's going to be a series of interviews that we're holding with the Ministry of National Mobilization, this being the first of them. So right. So I was just going to allow you an opportunity for 50 seconds each to just give us your final thoughts.
Okay, so I just remembered something else that the diversion unit is doing. We're bringing awareness about the Child Justice Act. So even as we do our various presentations in the school, especially where gang violence is concerned, we introduce the Child Justice Act. We talk about the age of criminal responsibilities and the different offenses that may cause a child to go to prison or to be sentenced otherwise. For during the summer break, while school is out, we'll be focusing our awareness in the communities, talking about gang violence in communities as well.
Okay. Now, Mr. Burnett, final words are with you.
Yeah, the children of this country are the future of the country. And we have the right and responsibility to make sure that they are raised in the right environment. And so I want to implore everyone to let us do our best to make sure that they get that right environment, not with abuse, not with neglect, not with any form of behavioral issues that's contrary to the law. Let's raise our children right and let's do our best. Let's take our responsibility and do that in a godly way.
All right. So thank you very much, Mrs. Cottle, for being here with us, and Mr. Burnett for also being here with us this morning. And we're hoping that the information that you relayed has hit home to many persons. You repeatedly stated, well, towards the effect that the children are indeed our future. And as adults, we have the responsibility of looking out for them and protecting them as well. So thank you very much for being here with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
To you too. Thank you.